All right, we're live. Does anyone want to give a recap of the last session?
We started at the hole where we were in a room full of dead rats, and we just went through the portal from the Handsome Mansion, and we had an encounter there in the previous session, and we started the session where the kobolds fled into a small tunnel. So we, after much debate, we ended up shrinking Elmorn, and he went in. Marthow shrunk Elmorn. He went in first, and there were flaps at both ends of the tunnel. So he ended up charging into the tunnel and falling into a pit. The kobolds laughed at him. This pit had eels in it, and they started nibbling on Elmorn. Elmorn then Marthow dispelled the shrink or the reduce, and Elmorn had his own enlarge ability, which then he used to try to climb up part of the way and get out of the pit. Kolmar followed, and then Marthow followed after some time. We tried lowering a rope to pull Elmorn up to realize that he was 1,600 pounds and there's no way we were going to pull him up. He ended up, he ended up returning to normal size, and I don't recall how we got him up.
First, we almost all fell in or something because we all rolled terribly after I reduced my strength. Because you guys had to check to make sure you could still hold me from the shock, and I had to check to make sure I could still hold on, and we all failed. And I think, luckily, you were wedged into the tunnel, so it helped. I think I just eventually climbed up high enough, and then I used Misty Step, I believe, to get over to the other side with an action point.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, and then we had the rope across. Then we told Charles to come along. I couldn't quite make it, so Marthow had to go and carry him. And while he was carrying him across the chasm, Marthow was receiving a well-deserved back rub.
It was a touching moment.
Across into a room that smelled like oil. Kolmar's first instinct was to shoot a fireball at a web that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Dustin, you're going robot again.
Not even robot, we're just losing him.
Yeah, you're reverting.
Yeah. Let me see if this will help.
I think he's trying to assimilate us. He's a board.
That rabbit.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
for now.
All right.
Let's see if it maintains.
So Kolmar was blocking the tunnel, so neither Elmorn nor Marthow nor Chuck knew what was going on. Then they began discussing what they saw the kobolds across the way, so they were discussing who could speak what languages, while oil casks were on their way down and things were about to go to hell. When the fire broke,
Large boom.
flung back in flung back into the eel water. And we were very hurt. The fire did a lot of damage. And the kobolds continued laughing at us and calling us idiots. So then that's where we ended the session with a short rest. We climbed back up to the room. The kobolds are gone, and we decided to do a short rest.
Yep. I moved the anvil.
Yes. So at one point during that short rest, you hear a slight clang, and Marthow, you understand the cursing in Draconic, and also the words, "Who put that there?" So yeah, you guys are now in the room. There's a door ahead that you haven't come from, and then behind you is another door that leads back to the room that's full of the rat carcasses. In front of that door, well, there was the anvil, but then Kolmar moved the anvil because these kobolds have gotten all their lessons from Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote and had an anvil sitting above the door waiting to drop on somebody. So, what are you guys doing now?
I'll reiterate the question that I asked during the email, the post game email. Is there any indication in the room that we're in of there being creatures other than large rats and kobolds?
Give me an investigation check.
Nat 20.
Wow.
So you do see what look to be bones of eels that have been picked clean. And maybe the occasional bug. But outside of that, no major animals. You do see a little bit of a slime mold. You don't know if it is one of those big nasty guys or that are really super toxic and might try to eat you, or if it's one of the more harmless kinds that aren't going to sprout pseudopods and start attacking. But
what?
it seems,
Slime mold?
yeah.
What is that? Or do we know what that is? I mean, obviously you gave this like description, so it seems like we know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
So there are some monsters in D&D are like types of mold
Oh,
that are semi pseudo sentient or living that can actually attack travelers and things like that who may encounter them.
okay.
So it's definitely something that you guys have heard of at times and what have varying degrees of familiarity with, but this one seems to be probably one of the ones that aren't going to immediately kill you outside of maybe an allergic reaction due to the spores that it might spew into the air. But
Gotcha. It's interesting. I didn't know there were mold characters. I bet they're fun guys.
Yeah, they're somewhat related to like the gelatinous cube.
Makes sense. All right. So potential slime mold type things, eels, and bugs. Nothing appears intelligent.
No.
Hmm. So there's a door in front of us, and there's a door that goes back to where we were. How big is this room?
Same room as the previous one. So it's about 40 feet in diameter, round room with ceilings that are about 15, 20 feet high. The room appears to be carved into the stone bedrock. At one point, it was probably fairly cleanly cut stone and worked, but it seems like it's dilapidated over the years. And definitely with the... It seems the kobolds have been working it to various degrees of success. As you can see from the various tunnels that they've carved into the stone and the intricate work of hammering in all of these pythons in the side of the wall to create that rope web that they had.
Hmm. I see.
So to that end, there's also a whole bunch of char around you because there was an explosion that did take place in this room. So you do smell the smoke, and everything is covered in either char or ash.
Is the air smoky?
Yes.
Very smoky, or like still? Are we still able to breathe? Or are we coughing? Or
No, you can breathe fine, and you can see fine. It's noticeable. Probably not most comfortable to breathe in, but it's not necessarily stinging your eyes or ears, eyes or throat to the point of it impacting your ability to do what you need to do.
gotcha. Okay. How is Charles doing?
How's who doing?
Charles?
He's pretty badly burned, and he is holding his arm a bit closer to his body. But as you look over Marthow and show the concern in the way that Marthow does, Charles immediately gets back into form and just kind of gives you a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, you may need to put some salve on that later. So.
Oh yes, very very good, Master Kolmar.
I will not be applying that, but somebody will.
Perhaps it could be a team effort.
We haven't been in this place that long, so.
I don't know if I'm deserving of such attention, but I do appreciate the thought.
Been here longer than I would have liked. Especially don't like being laughed at by kobolds.
Well, shall we continue? Are you guys able to move?
I'm ready when you guys are.
Kolmar, are you feeling limber?
I'm never limber, but I should be fine.
So Martha is going to walk up to the door. What's is like a metal door? Is it a wood door?
It is a thick wooden door that the blast has clearly spread cracks throughout the wood. However, it's also reinforced with iron. And so due to that fact, it's still pretty firmly in place. It does have a doorknob and a lock. And if you were to attempt to open it, it does appear to be locked.
I see.
I guess could I check? Well, I don't even know if the trap may have burned up. Guess I could check first, see if the door may be trapped. I'm not sure what that is. Investigate or
Yeah, I think that's just an investigation check.
They don't have dungeoneering. Oh yeah, that's
20, 25.
You're able to get a good look at the doors, hinges, and the lock, and you're even able to see some of the mechanisms of the lock. On the outside, it doesn't appear. On a surface level, there doesn't appear to be any traps. Within the and the hinges are all very, they're still functioning. The the mechanisms of the lock are pretty resilient and have stood up against the concussive force of the blast.
Mm-hmm.
However, you do notice a slight needle that seems to be out of place within the lock. And so if there is, and judging from what you can see of it, and as you examine it more closely, it looks like there's a spring-loaded mechanism that will be deployed if the lock is tampered with in any kind of way outside of the key that's specifically made to open it. And so if you were to pick it, there's a potential that it would go off unless you weren't careful or it had put some way of blocking it.
Okay, so the lock is trapped.
Can I see any cracks in the door?
Yeah, there are a couple, but none that actually allow you to see into the other room. They're still pretty, the doors cracks are still pretty tightly packed against the wood.
Is there room, any space below the door, like just like a little bit, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you do see a light in the room that seems to flicker as if a flame. You don't see any shadows moving to or fro though. So there's no activity as far as you can see from the light, but there is enough of a space that.
I communicate with the group. And I'm kind of whispering.
The mold is making me sneeze.
I'm whispering in case there's something on the other side. But I say, perhaps I can. Wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe I can't do that. I don't. These spell slots aren't correct because I definitely use fly in gaseous form, but I could still trade in. Perhaps I could squeeze through the door and check out what's on the other side, see if I can dismantle the lock from inside. Clearly it was trapped from out here, but it may not be the same inside.
Okay.
So you're saying you're going to go into the door in your gaseous form?
Yeah. So to do that, I'm going to trade 5 sorcery points for a level 3 spell slot.
Wow.
Okay.
So I can cast it because I didn't have any left. So I sit there and as I start shaking a little bit and like the gas, like whiffs of gas just start coming off, and until my form as is just condenses into a cloud.
Okay.
I'll never get
By the
used
way,
to that.
speaking of that, you reminded me, Kolmar. Because you took a short rest, you could use Arcane Recovery to regain a spell slot up to half your wizard level.
Okay. What's that in English?
Up to level 2, since you're a level 4 wizard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No.
I can get a slot back.
Yeah.
Okay. Done.
And we never did this last time, but technically we could do it this time to make up for it as the Tides of Chaos.
Yeah. So
That's a level 3 spell.
you get back your Tides of Chaos, and you have your Wild Magic Surge.
Yep. So
Oh boy.
a D100.
I love it when this happens.
We have an 82.
Oh no.
No, it's not funny bad for you guys. It's funny because it's legitimately funny. I'm just gonna copy and paste it into the chat so that you guys can have the same experience I did of reading it.
All right.
Wow. Cool. All right. One additional action immediately. Well, that would be great in battle.
Yeah. So the way that I'll let it play out for you, so that you can get some benefit, is I'll allow you, if you wanted to cast another spell with a duration of concentration, I would allow it.
All right.
And you can maintain concentration for both.
I have an interesting idea. Well, actually, gaseous form can't really do anything while you're in the form. Can't talk or manipulate objects. Can't attack or cast spells. So I can't really do anything while I'm in gaseous form. I'm just a cloud. So.
All right. So then, what I'll instead allow is, because you got to make your yeah. So, you could use your gaseous form to kind of slip into the lock, and help guide Kolmar's hand with his thieves' tools, and give him advantage on it and ensure that the lock wouldn't spring, or that the trap wouldn't spring in this first attempt.
Okay. So I can't talk or communicate any of this with Kolmar, but like he sees like a wisp kind of circling towards the. It wraps like my gaseous tendrils wrap around his arm, one of his hand, and then it leads to the lock.
And it spells out, yeah.
So, am I using sleight of hand?
So with thieves' tools, the way it works is, it's not So thieves tools is almost like its own skill, right? So thieves tools is kind of like sleight of hand or
Okay.
stealth. So you get to, because you have proficiency in it, you use your proficiency bonus, and then the whatever modifier is necessary in order to complete the task is the one that's utilized.
Okay.
And so because this lock is so delicate in what you need to do in order to successfully operate the mechanism, it's going to be dexterity.
Okay. So I get advantage.
Yes.
All right. 21.
Nice.
Thank God for advantage.
Just curious, what was it without advantage?
Would have been 9.
Well, Marthow at least would have blocked the trap from springing. But you're able to click the lock, and the door doesn't immediately open, but you know that it can open now. So when you guys are ready to enter into the room, you can. And then also give me a perception check.
Everyone?
No, just Kolmar.
Ooh. 18.
So as far as you can tell, the kobolds have not noticed or heard the click of the lock.
Okay. So yeah, when I use my thieves tools and carefully click the lock, and then I turn around and silently go,
All right. So what are you guys up to now?
I think, is Marthow going to go all the way through? Can he go to the other side now?
Yeah, he could have gone into the other side whenever he wanted to. He's a big old cloud of gas.
You should do some reconnaissance.
Yeah. I was planning on going into the other side anyway. So I'm gonna sleep in kind of under the door and through the lock. I imagine that my color gas is. It doesn't say anything about color, so I'm just gonna assume it. I'm gonna try to make it kind of indistinguishable, so kind of like a dark gray type deal.
Okay. Give me a stealth check with advantage.
Oh, thank God, there was advantage. 18.
All right. So as you move through the lock and through under the door, a feeling that is very weird even for your discorporated body to separate and move independently in this fashion. Your senses of the room, because you're a cloud of gas, you see and perceive everything as if through a haze. But as far as you can tell, the kobolds that are beyond the door have not noticed you or are not giving you any special attention. The room is a similar round room as the other one, but this one off. So there's another door directly in front of you across the room, about 40 feet away, because once again, this is a 40-foot diameter room with the ceiling being about 15 to 20 feet tall. But slightly beside the door are what look to be this mound of bones that have been arranged in such a way to create a kind of chair with a large feline skull sitting next to it. And beside that chair are the three kobolds, and they seem to be speaking in hushed tones. One of them is wearing what looks to be a leather armor that has been dyed blue, and is much more decorative. He wears a kind of crown of bones that kind of surround his head, his small little head, and unlike the other kobolds, this one is winged, and he seems to wield the small kobold equivalent of a halberd. Also in the room is an interesting design where it seems like there's a number of mounds, 6 in total, that seem to have this. Each one has like a kind of makeshift sort of shield or something in front of it, and the mound has a hole that goes into the floor, and they're arranged in such a way that they kind of are perimeter and surround the room in sort of if you were to connect the dots, it would form like a hexagon, which with each shield seeming to face in the center towards the center of the room.
I see. So I see a mound with a large cat skull on it, a kobold that is differently dressed
And his
than the
wings.
others. And 6 mounds around the edges with shields on it facing the center.
Yep, that's about it. The room is fairly well lit with a couple of torches that have been spiked into the walls. But other than that, there's nothing of note that you can see or detect.
I see.
Bless you. Bless you.
I'm going to so how many kobolds do I see? I see the 3 kobolds and then 1 more. So 4 kobolds?
3 total.
Okay.
3 total. The two from before and the new one, who is also slightly larger and has wings.
If I float by like one of the shields, is there any kind of reaction that I get from being near it?
Nope.
Are the 3 kobolds close to each other?
Yeah, they're talking in very hushed tones.
Can I tell what they're saying?
If you were to get closer, you could, probably.
Okay.
Did you want to do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So because you're in your gaseous cloud form, I'm going to give you an option on how you want to do stealth. You can either do your normal modifier and have advantage, or you can do a stealth check using your charisma modifier, since it's your spellcasting modifier, but normal without advantage.
I'll use my charisma modifier.
Okay.
21.
Okay. They don't see shit. I rolled natural 1 for them. All right, I'm gonna send you an email with what they're saying.
So the headphone jack on my PC is fucked up, and I have to like wiggle the fucking connection to make sure it's good, so I can hear you guys. Otherwise, everything sounds really distant. It sucks.
Man.
It's fine. I probably just need to get in there since I built the PC, so I probably just have a loose connection or something. I don't fucking know. I just need to get in there and reconnect something.
Yeah, let's get in there real deep.
It's just such a pain in the ass. I don't feel like taking apart the whole thing just to get to that one little piece.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, let's kind of deal with it
Mm-hmm.
out of laziness.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sent. Did I send it to you? Yes, I did.
Yep.
For some reason, I thought maybe I didn't send it to you. I sent it to someone else by accident.
Huh.
Oh, and one more thing.
Fucking shit about me. Stupid human fallen fool.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
Assholes.
All right.
All right. I'm going to return through the door. that it came in. That where Kolmar and Elmore are sitting. And when I get out through the other side, I'm going to reform into my appearance. I'm going to dispel gaseous form. So
everybody is stunned by the sudden sparkle and handsomeness of Marthow.
Everybody is what? You're echoing. There's some echo.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I said everybody is momentarily stunned by the handsomeness and sudden sparkle that appears as Marthow reforms.
Even Charles.
Especially Charles.
I see your stares of wonder, and yes, I get this quite a bit. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. And I'm whispering this. I let the party, I let them both know about the shields, the shield placement, and how it's kind of a raid out. I let them know that the kobolds are scared, and they think that we're monsters, but they're going to fight to the death. Apparently, they have a nest, and that they don't know how to get out of here, as in they're stuck, and they're hoping that we know how to get out. I also let them know that they mentioned something about having trouble leaving since they killed the human that dies as a monster. I don't really understand what this human that dies as a monster a bit is about, but I'm having a sneaking suspicion that that is our friend Guido.
Baba.
I'm not sure what this monster business is. Perhaps he's some kind of shapeshifter?
I think it was Beto. You're right.
Is bigger. So they're going to fight to the death when we get in there. There's 3 of them, 2 that we've seen before, and then one with wings. If you'd like, we can just burst right in and hit them with spells as soon as we're able, and try to kill them. Or, well, you can't really sneakily open up a door that they're expecting something to come out of.
Well, if Kolmar disarmed this trap in the door, this needle that was supposed to poke out, is there some kind of is it like a syringe? Was there going to be some kind of poison?
It's hard to know exactly without being able to physically examine it, but from what Kolmar could see and from Kolmar's experience, more than likely it is topped or has been dipped in some kind of topical poison.
So what if we opened the door and pretended to be poisoned? And the kobolds would think they had us on the ropes.
Elmore, that's brilliant. You know, I expect that kind of genius to come out of Kolmar. The fact that it came from you, I'm very impressed.
I'm not quite sure what to say.
Charles says, perhaps you should say thank you.
Yes, well, it was quite an underhanded compliment.
You could feign an injury as the door opens, and I could use disguise self to look like a kobold and try to get them to come and assist. And then when they come in the room, we could get them. But I don't speak Draconic, so I will just, yes, I know what I'll do. I will just open my mouth and Marthow will speak Draconic like in a bad karate movie.
Just a reminder, you also still have Sam.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Send him in.
Is he noticeably dead?
He's got a pretty vicious wound to his midsection.
But other than that,
That goes straight out to his back.
All right, so open the door. Leave Sam in the doorway or like right outside the doorway. Don't put him in the room. Then have Marthow pretend to talk as Sam and be like, "Come help me. I'm wounded."
Sam or Snickers was his slave name. Could do that.
Kobolds are pretty stupid. They should fall.
Are they?
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that these kobolds are smart. Marthow refuses to believe it.
All right, fair enough.
You guys want to do it?
He doesn't even have to. He doesn't have to talk. He could just be like at the door. He looks like he's in bad shape anyway, and just like ask for help. Just like wave, and if if they want him to communicate or something, then we could.
All right. So, does this door open towards us or away from us? Can we hide behind this door after it opens? Like along the wall next to this door?
You know what? I'm gonna roll a percentile to see which way this door opens. Less than 50, it opens towards you. Greater than 50, it opens towards them. It opens towards you.
All right, sweet.
47. It was right on the button.
We're just gonna hide behind the door and let Sam stand in the doorway.
Perhaps you can have Sam walk through and feign like he's like stumbling, and then fall on the ground a few meters in front of the door. You know, he has a pretty grievous wound.
I think we should get him. I think we should get him as close to the door as possible. I'll ready my halberd.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if I want him walking in the room because they may just. See if we can get him to move and come as close to him as possible. Maybe get him into this room.
Sounds good.
Maybe you could lace them with explosives and blow them up inside the room.
Give them a taste of their own medicine.
That's right.
I mean, I do have a bag of ball bearings.
All right. Is this the plan we're going with? Are we going to have Sam stand in the doorway and get him to come over? All right. Elmore assumes a position behind the door. So, like, well, to a position where when the door opens, he'll be hidden from view by the door.
All right. So describe what happens as the door opens on your side of the door.
My side of the door, I can't see shit. The door's blocking my view.
Okay. Then somebody else who has a little bit more influence over what is happening.
Have you ever hidden behind a door and you can like kind of see through like the crack? There, that's all I can see. All I can see is whatever's happening there.
I can kind of peek out and like see if I can peek out in a way and still try to remain hidden kind of behind Sam.
All right. So with the size of the door, only two of you are going to be able to hide behind the door, or but you guys can have kind of like be up against the wall on either side of the door as well. So you guys open up the door. How wide are you opening up the door? What is Sam doing? How is he reacting?
It opens, I wouldn't say all the way to the wall, but at least halfway.
Like 90%, like a 90-degree angle from the wall.
Yep.
Okay.
Sam staggers, which shouldn't be hard because technically he is undead at this point.
Right.
Grabbing his chest and moaning, which he probably is doing anyway, and falls to one knee, and then just is like beckoning them to help him.
So you hear a lot going on in Draconic. So Marthow, what you hear is they are basically calling out, "Snickers, is that you? You're alive?" And then another voice saying, "Come on, quick, get in here." And then this initial one saying, "No, he's hurt. He needs our help." And then you hear a third voice say, "No, wait. This doesn't seem right."
Then you hear Palpatine say, "Leave him, or we'll never make it."
So that third voice is like, "Where are the humans? How did he get past them? Snickers, get in here." And then you hear the second voice say, "No, Snickers, I got you." And then
he's that kobold. Okay.
The third voice says the equivalent of "God damn it," and then so who is behind the door? Who is on the other side of the door?
I am behind the door.
If this is a door right here, who's on? And then this is like the door opens like this.
Yeah.
Who's behind the door? Who is on this side of the threshold?
I'll be on the other.
Did that make any sense?
Wait, yeah. You know what? I'm not behind the door. I'm on the wall.
Okay.
Because it's easier for me to just step around and swing with my halberd.
Yeah. So I guess I'm behind the door. Can I see through the crack?
You can see slightly. Most of what you're seeing is just one of the opposite walls, as well as one of the wall sconces that has the torch in it. But then you see a sudden flash as one of the kobolds runs up to Snickers.
Okay. Incoming.
All right. So he's up to Snickers now. Can I jump out and slash at him with my halberd?
Yes, you can.
All right. Here we go. What's my attack? I got I got a pitiful 12.
Not enough. So the kobold reacts instinctively as you swing your halberd through the air in an attempt to behead it in a single swipe, especially given its long neck. A lot of area that you could have accomplished that. But it manages to duck under it very quickly and loses its balance and kind of slides back and then begins like kind of crab walking away from you. And it says, "No, it's a trap!"
Damn it.
And then you hear the other, Martha hears the other voice say, "God damn it, I told you!" And that's initiative.
7.
Six. Jeez. 10.
Good lord. Good lord.
Maybe it's time for you guys to switch up your dice.
I have 4 dice sets that I do here. And I switch off between all of them.
All right, so winged one got a 19. The other two got a 14. Anyone get between 19 and 14?
No.
All right. So the kobold is still prone and continuing to crab walk back, too afraid of the giant, hulking, armored figure in front of him with the big halberd. His dark, beady eyes focused on you in wide-eyed terror. So he moves back 15 feet, and then he'll use his, so that's his movement, and then his action, he's going to continue to move back. So he'll go back 30 feet. And then Elmorn, because you're the only one that right now can see directly into the room.
Mm-hmm.
So across behind that winged kobold, or behind that kobold, about 20 feet away from him is the winged kobold, and he flies over to interpose himself between you and the kobold. And then the other kobold doesn't do anything from now. And so now it's your guys' turn.
So the winged kobold is wielding like a tiny halberd, right?
Yes.
That's cute.
And it is like pointing it at you, readying itself.
I do a flourish. I point mine at him.
So you guys can go in whatever order you want for yourselves, since you're all grouped together.
All right. I'm going to Are kobolds considered humanoids?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. I have the entry. Yep.
Okay. So there's the kobold that's the winged one that jumped in front, and then did the one that was backpedaling exorcist style, was that like, is he back with it next to his friend now, or did he go into a different corner?
So from where you are, you can't see any of that until you move into the doorway.
Okay, I'm gonna move into the doorway.
All right. So as you move into the doorway, you can see that that other kobold is still in. As the winged kobold interposed himself, that one is starting to get up because he's kind of in the center of the room right now, and so he's starting to get up to scramble to his feet. But he is not next to the other kobold. The other kobold is on the left side of the room, next to one of those shields.
Okay.
And that kobold is also swinging something over its head.
All right. I'm going to cast enlarge on Elmorn.
All right. Elmorn is beefy Elmorn.
And I'd like to place a curse on the winged kobold for hex.
All right. So with that one hexed, which ability score are you hexing?
I'm gonna do a dex hex.
Dex hex is a popular hex. All right. All right, Elmorn and Kolmar, what are you guys doing?
Do we really want to kill these guys? They're just pathetic. There's no sport in this. I almost want to just make them piss themselves and tell us what they know about Babu, Beto, whatever his name is.
Blah blah.
Baba Ganoush.
Yes, Baba Ganoush.
Spread them limb from limb. They tried killing us multiple times. Do you not remember the inferno that was the room we just got out of?
They're just pitiful creatures defending their claimed territory. What if Babu is the real culprit? He did break a decanter. He's the one I have a grievance with.
Well, normally I would agree with you, had these kobolds not tried killing us already. I didn't make you larger so you could chat with them. I made you larger so you could smite them at their asses into oblivion.
Elmorn finds no sport in killing these weak, pathetic, in his eyes, weak, pathetic creatures. He's disheartened. Instead, he'd rather just beat them, but not kill them.
Well, there's nothing that says when you reduce something to 0 hit points that you have to kill it.
All right, then Elmorn's going to take a big, giant swing, non-lethal swing. Can I like hit him with the side of my halberd, try and knock him out?
Yeah.
All right. All right, here we go. I got Jesus. All right, I got a 23.
It's a hit.
All right, and then D10. I got a 10 plus 3, so 13. And then if he's not knocked out, then I'll do my
Don't forget your D4
D4.
from the enlarge.
Oh, right.
That was a D6.
D4.
Well, that's another 4. So 17.
All right, so you knock the winged kobold upside its head. It seems like it's about to fall, but then it flaps its wings in a way to keep itself upright.
Well, then I'm gonna do my bonus action and hit it with the butt of my halberd.
You also have another attack. You don't have to use your bonus action yet.
Oh,
You get 2 attacks per attack.
I feel like it makes more sense if I like swing like this, come back with the butt, and then swing like this
Okay.
again if I need to.
That's fair.
All right. So anyway, here comes the attack with the butt of the halberd. 17.
That's also a hit.
All right, D4. 2 plus 3, so 5. Is he knocked out yet?
You also do another D4. All of your attacks
God.
have an additional D4.
So much damage. All right, another 4.
That's what it feels like to play a barbarian.
So 9 total there.
So you place the butt of your halberd firmly into the thing's torso, and it doubles over momentarily. But then it uses its own halberd to knock it away and looks just as ready to fight as it was before.
You asked for it. That's what I say. And then I take another swing.
Grins.
Wow. All right. I rolled a 19 plus 6, so 25.
That is a hit. Hold on. All right. So, as your halberd, roll your damage.
All right. I rolled a 3, so plus 3, so 6 total.
Plus D4.
Plus a D4. Got it. All right, that was a 1.
All right. So what's that total?
7.
So, in the very instant before you hit the kobold, it utters a slight bark that seems to be its version of a laugh, and its belt begins to glow, and it pops out of sight, and then suddenly in its place is Charles, and Charles takes the hit. So you slash into Charles, dealing that damage.
No, I didn't slash into him. I used the face of my halberd, so I smack him.
Regardless.
It was a non-lethal blow. I can't kill Charles.
So now Charles and the kobold seem to have switched places. And so Marthow, from his position within the door, can clearly see the winged kobold pop into existence to his right. Kolmar is still behind the door, but he can sort of get a sense of what's going on still.
And I yell out, "Shit! What sorcery is this?"
And Charles is like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Hell's wrong with me? How did you even get here?
Good question. What? Kolmar, you're up.
Okay, I'm behind the door. Can I see what's going on through the crack or no?
You have an idea of what's going on.
So some reason Charles is out there and he just he took a non-lethal blow, but we won't go into that. So we will. So I peek my head around the door to see what's going on. And do I see the winged creature in the room?
No, it's outside the room. It's in the room you're in.
Right. So if I'm behind the door, then I peek around. Once I go to peek around the door, I'll see him.
Right. So
Okay.
You have Marthow in between you and the winged kobold.
Okay. But if I cast magic missile, it won't matter because it will hit him.
Right.
Okay. Yes. All right. I think that's what I'll do. So is that 4? If I cast it at second level, is that 4d4?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, you got that right. So I don't have to worry about hitting Marthow.
4d4 plus 4.
4d4 plus 4.
4 by 4, almost 5 by 5.
Let's see. That's 7, 10, 14 force damage. Oh, and I get d6 for sneak attack.
I'm going to say no, only because that one doesn't require an attack roll.
Okay, fair enough. Use my bonus action to hide.
Okay.
So is that stealth?
Yep.
Stealth 18.
All right. As far as you can tell, you're hidden.
Works for me.
As far as you can tell.
Well, you're not going to know until somebody finds you.
You're correct. Yeah, I mean, exactly.
It's such a DM move, dude. As far as you know.
I've used it many times, so
Yeah.
only fair.
All right. So the winged kobold, first it takes out what appears to be some kind of orb and smashes it on its chest, which it then releases these vapors that it breathes in deeply and seems to heal some of its wounds. And then what it does is it flies over to Marthow in such a way that the wings really strongly buffet you. And so you need to make an opposed athletics check in order to keep on your feet and not be knocked away.
Little did you know, that's my strong suit. I got a 9.
I'm sorry, what?
A 9.
Okay. You got a 10. So just barely.
I'm gonna use Ben Luck to add to that.
You can't do that. You got to do that before you know it's going to work or not.
You You can do so after the creature rolls, but before any of the effects of the roll occur.
Bam! Get him.
Yep, it's in the book. You got to go by it.
Raw rules.
That's like, all right, whatever. I'll give it to you.
So
You don't even have to roll.
that's a 12.
All right. Well, it doesn't knock you down or knock you back. And it's going to continue on into the room, so it's going to draw an attack of opportunity if you choose to use your reaction to do so, which you can't because Ben Luck is a reaction, I believe.
You know what? Since I ruined your buffet, I'll give it to you. It doesn't really say here, but I'll give it to you.
It doesn't? It should.
Nope.
No, you can use your reaction to roll 1d6 to apply the number and use it as a bonus or penalty
Okay.
with Ben Luck.
You're right. It is a reaction. I would still give it to you anyway.
All right, so it's still able to get by you back into the room. So it's kind
Back
of
into the room, you say?
back into the room, and so it's off center.
Into my reach?
Yeah, did it cross his path?
Yeah, did it go within 10 feet of me?
No, it
I'm
did
in the
not.
doorway. I'm in the doorway. What do you mean?
No,
it
you're
didn't?
not. You ran up. You could not have attacked him before unless you ran up to him, and he was half. I told you in the beginning
What?
he was in the middle of the room.
No, you said that. You said okay. Wait, let's go back. I got into the doorway and I swiped at the kobold. He fell backwards because he dodged my attack. Yes, right.
Right, and then the kobold moved away.
Yeah, and the
30
other guy
feet.
came within
30
30
feet
feet.
into the room.
He was prone. How would he get 30 feet?
Because he used his movement action to move half his speed, 15 feet, and then he used his regular action to move again, to do a dash, and move another 15 feet. I said this.
All right, fine, whatever. You just don't want to give me my sentinel.
You know what? I don't, but that's besides the point. But no, he is outside your reach. So if you are if you're 30 feet into the room, he's just outside of 20 feet from you.
All right.
And then now the kobolds are going, and so the one kobold that is spinning the things over his head, he tosses it at Elmorn. Because Elmorn is a big old dude.
I'm
And
huge.
obviously the biggest threat right now.
Huge.
Wait, literally.
Huge.
There's nobody bigger than me.
Uh,
I've got the best big stats.
Natural 20.
Is Almorn Bigley now?
And then 21 to confirm. Does a 21 hit you?
Yeah.
All right. So it is a confirmed critical. It's one that the attack does not do damage, but we're going to roll on the critical success chart anyways to see if there's any other effects that take place. 30. Target is knocked prone and disarmed. So
Bastard.
you would normally, because what happens is it tosses this thing at you, and it's actually a bola. And so it wraps around your legs and causes you to stumble.
Mm-hmm.
And you stumble epically, especially how big you are. So you fall. Your weapon lands 20 feet away from you. and but you don't take any damage. So you're prone. And then the other kobold runs over to one of these shield things, and then it's also swinging something over its head, but it's different, and it launches a bullet.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I'm huge. You said the dude was 20 feet away from me. 20 feet is my reach because my reach is doubled by and large.
No.
Isn't it?
What is the reach when you're larger?
My reach is 10 feet normally, but everything is doubled when I'm enlarged.
Reach is one of those weird things because you get bigger, but technically your reach doesn't get bigger.
Everything
so
I
you take
wear
up more
gets
space.
Longer?
Really?
You take up more space, but you still have the same.
Wow, damn it. That sucks. Thought I had an epiphany. All right.
No, but well done.
What's the
well
whiskey
done.
talking?
Fair enough. So the other kobold gets behind one of these shield things and launches a sling bullet at Charles. Charles takes the bullet right in the face, and
Of course he does.
which knocks him off kilter a bit, but he recovers. So then now we have Marthow, Elmorn, and Kolmar. And Elmorn, the bola is tied around you, so before you can stand up, you need to use an action to either untie the bola or break it.
All right. I'll use my action to break it since I'm huge.
Okay. Yeah, so that's athletics, and you get advantage on athletics checks as you're enlarged.
Okay. Oh shit. Well, fuck. It's a 12.
Yeah, you're not able to break it.
I'm able to use an action point though.
You are able to use an action point.
Okay, that one should work. That's a 23.
Yes, so you are able to break it.
Okay. And can't
and
really
if
do
you
anything
want,
else, right?
well, if you want to get up, that's half your movement.
Oh, all right. How
And
far
then
away was my thing knocked?
20 feet.
All right, then I'll get up and move towards my halberd.
All right.
It's 20 feet away. No, never mind. Whatever.
You're still 5 feet from it, unless you have a better than 30-foot movement range.
Nope.
All right, Kolmar and Marthow.
So all the kobolds are back in the room now.
Yes.
I'm going to cast a level 3 chaos bolt at the winged kobold.
Okay.
So that means I get to roll 3. Or I get well, attack first. 16.
That is a hit, just barely.
So I got 3d8. Come on, baby. Yeah. It does 16 damage. And it's going to do thunder damage because I'm gonna bring the thunder.
All right, he takes it on the chin, and it definitely rattles him.
And then he does an addition, and then I do an additional 4 damage, net necrotic damage to it for the hex.
Right. All right, you see his knees buckle a little bit, but he's fighting to stay up.
And I'm going to also warp reality around it. I have that available. So the winged kobold now experiences everything around him is dough-like, and he has a hard time moving. He probably has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he's definitely very confused, and
Kind of like
looks to be scared. You can see the other kobolds go like shouting in concern of him. Kolmar.
so.
All right, I'm going to do. I will come out of my hiding spot and look around the door. Do I see the winged creature, winged
Yes.
cobalt?
Yes.
And then I'm going to create my ghostly skeletal hand and attack him with chill touch at first level.
Chill touch is not a spell.
What? Yeah, it is. It's cantrip.
No, it's a cantrip. So it's not a first level thing.
Well, you can bump it up, right?
You don't know. It automatically bumps up with level.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so your chill touch does 2d8.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you had to do that.
No. That's automatic.
Okay. All right. Chill touch. What's my plus here? 15.
15 is his AC.
Okay, so that hits him.
Well, roll your damage.
7 necrotic.
All right, so as that ghostly hand would strike Kobold, all of a sudden the belt begins to glow, and he blinks out of existence, and instead there is Marthow.
This dude's a cheater.
And he takes the 7 necrotic damage. Meanwhile,
Can I use my reaction to add to my AC? Or
no, not in this instance, because if the ability is if it would hit the kobold, then it hits whoever swaps with him.
gotcha.
You think you guys have heard of this item? It's called the Belt of Misdirection.
I'm gonna misdirect it up his ass.
And so now the winged kobold is actually quite close to Kolmar. Meanwhile, Marthow is in the room.
Well, if I have enough movement, I will hide again.
Unfortunately, there's nowhere you can hide because he sees where he's at. He can see around the door, unless
Okay.
you have a hidey hole that you can go into.
Um, so all of our group is in the room, right?
Yes.
So if I'm standing and the door is like right next to me and I use chill touch and he blinks out and then he's standing next to me where Marthow was, right?
Yeah.
He's outside the room. We're both of us are in the same room now.
Yes.
So I grab the door and close the door behind me as I go back into the room with the kobold.
So you're basically shutting the door on him,
Yeah.
and now you guys are in the room, and he's outside the room.
Yep.
Okay.
We're in the room with the 2 other kobolds, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you hear that winged kobold begin pounding on the door. Marthow, or I mean Kolmar, are you holding it shut, or
Yeah.
like, how are you?
I'll close it and hold it shut.
Okay. So then the other 2 kobolds, one of them fires a bullet at Elmorn. 22.
Hit.
6 damage. 3 damage for your resistance.
Thank you, Egg.
And then the other one launches a bullet at Marthow. 19.
Oh man. That hits.
Can you use your reaction now? Would that even help?
No, it wouldn't help.
So that is 5 damage.
Alrighty.
Now it's your guys' turn.
So I'm on the side of the door and there's the winged kobold. And the door's closed. I'm in the other room. Correct.
You're in the big room where the battle's happening. The
Okay.
winged kobold is in the room you guys came from with all the char.
Gotcha. It got left out.
Right.
All right.
You got mysteriously teleported into the room somehow, and then were struck by an unknown spell.
I turn and see the other kobolds, and I'm going to cast a chaos bolt at one of the other kobolds. The one that's closest to me.
Okay.
I'm going to use Tides of Chaos to reroll that.
All right.
That's 20.
That's a hit.
And it does 11 damage of thunder damage.
Okay.
Breaking thunder.
After you do that, the kobold disappears into the ground.
Like, it just drops to the ground, or it like digs a hole in the ground, or
No, those shields are next to holes, so it dips in.
Yeah, we're playing whack-a-mole.
I see. All right.
All right. Marthow and Elmore.
Kolmar, no one.
Yes, that's what I meant.
I don't know. Kolmar, you go.
Well, I'm holding this door closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to keep holding it closed, though.
Is there a way I can lock it?
You can use your action to do a thieves' tools check, but because you're doing it under duress, it would be at disadvantage.
Okay. Um.
And it would be your dexterity bonus.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. So as I'm holding the door, I'm going to take a look at that chair. What can I tell about it? I'm trying to figure out if that has any kind of special properties. Or does it look like somebody's just ornamental bag of bones?
It just looks like bones from a large creature that have been arranged in such a way to make a chair. From where you are right now and based on everything that's going on, it's hard to see any distinct detail that might give you any clue as to whether there's any kind of magical properties or something. You would need to be much closer and be able to take a little bit more time.
Okay. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to let go of the door. I'm going to cast grease right in front of it. And then I'm going to scoot to the side and see if I can get behind one of those shields without falling in the hole.
The holes are quite small. You wouldn't be able to fit through them anyways.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I don't want to get too close to it because I don't want to have a kobold jump up and hit me in the junk.
That's good. That's exactly what would happen. All right.
That's a legitimate concern. I'm fighting.
All right. So, now Elmorn, your turn.
It's the nearest kobold to me.
The one to your right is only about 15 feet away from you.
All right. In the direction. No, he's to the right. So if I go and retrieve my halberd, I still have enough movement to get to him, right?
Yes.
All right. Elmorn has changed his stance on the kobolds. He's pissed. Fuck the kobolds. He's going to kill them all. I go and retrieve my halberd, and I turn to this kobold to the right of me, and I give him the death look, and then I use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay.
All right. And then I run up to him and I attack him.
All right.
Here we go. All right. 19.
Hit.
All right. D10. Okay. That's a 6. Then a D4 for enlarge, right? That's makes it 9. And then another D6 for my Hunter's Mark. And that's another 3. So that's 12 total.
So after that swipe with your halberd, it definitely catches the kobold off guard, but it throws its momentum into a roll and then ducks into the hole, and then disappears into the hole.
All right.
Um, so you still have a little bit of movement left. You still have about 10 feet worth of movement. If you wanted to do anything else.
So Hunter's Mark allows me to mystically mark him as my quarry, right? So it says here that I have advantage on any wisdom, perception, or wisdom survival checks I make to find this fucker. So
Yep.
can I track him underground and be like, see where he's gonna like go, or the direction he's moving, where he's gonna pop out?
I'll allow it. Give me a survival check.
All right.
And your hunter's mark gives you advantage on that?
Yep.
All right.
So that's 15.
All right. Yeah, you get a sense of where he's going. It seems like he's heading to the, we'll say northwest hole.
How far is that from me?
That is about 40 feet.
All right. I use whatever. How much movement do I have left? Whatever it is, I move towards that hole.
All right. So that gives you 10 feet of movement towards that hole.
All right.
And then anyone else that needs to go before the kobolds?
I don't think so.
All right. So the winged kobold comes in, and it's doughy and everything is hard to maneuver, and it's not understanding what's going on. And then it encounters Kolmar's grease, and it rolls a natural 20 on its dexterity saving throw against the grease.
Is that the disadvantage?
What's that?
Is that a disadvantage?
Does your ability force disadvantage on dex?
It has advantage on ability checks. Oh, not saving throws. Never mind.
Right.
And that's when I can use an action point and make a reroll.
Fair enough. It rolled a non-natural 20. Natural 17.
Okay.
So, but given its circumstances, it's not moving. It's not able to move from where it is right now. And so what it does is it looks over and sees Kolmar, and it looks like it sort of pierces the air with its halberd, and then it sort of the halberd's head disappears, and then reappears right in front of you to stab at you.
What the hell, Bert?
So, but it rolled pretty shitty on that. 15.
No, need a 16.
All right, and then it's going to follow up with the butt of the halberd, which strangely the head of the halberd seems to shift along the shaft. Shift along the shaft to be now, even though it was the blunt end, it's now the stabby end, and it's also traveling through space. And this time rolled a 22.
And I 22. Okay. All right.
Jesus Christ. Seriously? 4 damage. And then that's the kobold's turn. Or the winged kobold. The one that Elmore was attacking pops up and launches a bolt at Charles because he's the closest. And that one hits, and that hits him and hurts him. And he's taken a couple of shots to the dome and is quite confused. His lucidity is dropping. But he returns by running at the kobold and then swiping with his rapier. But is unsuccessful in hitting the kobold. And then, and this is because I've been failing to run Charles. If you guys want to do Charles's actions from now on, I would not be opposed. But anyways, the other kobold pops up on the opposite end of the northern side. So on the northeast side, there's another hole with a shield, and launches a bolt, one of those bullets at Elmorn. Elmorn is the closest, but misses. It bounces off Elmorn's armor harmlessly.
That's right.
You guys' turn.
So the winged kobold is now in the room.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna fire a chromatic bolt at it. Does 13.
13 misses.
I'm gonna bend luck. 15.
15 just hits.
Sweet. And let's see, it's 2d8. Does 5 damage. And it's of type 5 acid damage.
All right. So as you're about to hit it with your bolt of acid, the belt blows, and the kobold suddenly disappears, and in its place is Kolmar.
All right.
So Kolmar, you take the 5 acid damage.
Okay.
Can I use an action point to do another attack at that that bastard?
Yeah.
All right, that's 19.
That's a hit.
It's 10 damage. Actually, no, it's not that one. 10 damage. Fire damage. 10 fire damage.
Right.
Plus 6 necrotic damage.
Go ahead and describe how it dies.
So,
Yeah.
so it thought it would. I shot off a green ball of kind of dripping ball of goop, and it hit, and this winged kobold disappeared, and then it smothered Elmore. fueled by rage and annoyance, he turned to where Elmorn once stood and noticed the kobold and fire off another quick but effective ball of fire. And
Kolmar, I think you mean.
the kobold did not see it coming, thinking that it had escaped. It had escaped its demise, but its demise soon found it, and it caught in flames and died with a single yelp.
So with that, both of the remaining kobolds cry out in despair and like a wail of mourning and rage, which would be impressive if they weren't little with such little voices. And they both immediately launch bullets at you, Marthow.
What about me? I still get my turn.
Well, they're taking their reaction because their friend died.
No, I want to kill this motherfucker.
After the reaction.
16.
Since I already took my reaction, that hits.
And then that one is a 26.
Yep.
So first one is 7. And the second one is a 9.
All right. Marthow gets hit. He's not expecting them to fly, and he did not expect that much out of the kobolds, especially since he thinks that they're pathetic, weak creatures. And he's taken by surprise, and he's injured very badly.
Are you dispirited?
Nope. But close.
All right. Now, Elmorn and I think Kolmar, you still have to go this round still. So you guys are up.
I keep charging the kobold that's marked with my hunter's mark. And the bullet whizzes past me and hits Marthow. And enrages me even more. And my light jog turns into a dead sprint. A giant, huge man dead sprinting. And you know what? Let's see. Fuck it. No, I don't want to do that actually. First. Yeah. All right. As I'm running towards him, I lift my halberd up to the heavens, and I cast Thunderous Smite on my halberd. So if I hit him, I'm gonna fuck him up. And
Thunder. Thunders.
Yeah. That's what I yell, and then I attack, and that would miss completely if I didn't have action points. Let's use an action point.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that would miss completely if I didn't have an action point. Someone use an action point. Come on. There we go. All right. 22.
All right. That's a hit.
All right. 10 damage with the halberd. I rolled a 2, so I will use great weapon fighting to re-roll that. and I re-rolled, and I got a 10. So 10 for the halberd, plus 3 slashing, plus 1d4 for my giantism, which I rolled a 4. So 17 right now, plus d6 for my hunter, which rolled a 1, so 18. And then Thunder Smite, I get 2d6 thunder damage. So d6, another d6. And that is 5 more damage. So 18 plus 5, 23.
What else does Thunderous Smite do? Doesn't it
He must succeed
potentially
a
knock
save.
them?
Strength saving throw, be pushed 10 feet away from me and knocked prone. Unless he's
Yeah.
already dead, in which case it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, go ahead and describe how he died.
So as I'm charging him, thunder, 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 smite! And the blade of my halberd shimmers with a holy, thunderous, lightningous, electricious light. And I reach the kobold and I right on his head. Thunder radiates from his head, makes this loud, audible noise. Everyone's ears are ringing, except for the kobold who I hit because he's dead. Instead of his ears ringing, his ears have flown to either side of the room because his head exploded, and his little body slumped back into the hole and never to be seen again. Fuck him.
So,
And my hunter's mark goes to the other kobold.
so the other kobold, seeing his last companion get killed, although kobolds are scaled and everything, you can sort of begin to see the color drain from his face. And he disappears into his hole, reappearing where his winged brother had been slaughtered, which is close to the door. And he makes a run for the door, crossing Kolmar's path, allowing Kolmar an attack of opportunity if he wants it. And then also bringing him into the grease spell.
Yeah. I will use. Can I use firebolt? Is he too close?
Not as an attack of opportunity unless you have War Master or Warcaster.
Okay, I'll just use my blade of blood then.
Is your blade of blood out?
No, can't do that. Attack of opportunity. Well, I mean, I could always reach out and grab him, right?
Or maybe just push him into the grease.
I'll reach out and grab him and do inflict wounds.
But you can't do that without the... You can't cast a spell as an attack of opportunity, though.
Oh. Well, that's some kind of straight up bullshit. I'll stick my foot out and trip him.
All right.
Can I do a trip attack?
So...
Don't even trip, dog.
All right, trip. I believe that's just you make an athletics contested by the kobolds acrobatics.
Athletics, huh? Okay. Ooh, look at that. 8. It's called action points. I'll try another one. Natural 20.
The kobold also rolled a natural 20.
Shithead.
So you know what? I'm just really curious to see what happens with 2 natural 20s. So what we're gonna do is this: we're not gonna try to confirm them or anything. Give me a D100 roll.
$80.
All right, let's see. I got a 65. So your 80 would say they only regain half what they normally would. Re-roll that one.
76.
Damn it, re-roll it again. That was the exact same one.
1.
All right. So here's how I'm imagining what happens. You go to trip the kobold. The kobold kind of sees it coming and anticipates it, but none of you can really anticipate what actually happens. And as a result of this absolute, you're perfect in your expectation and what should happen. And he is perfect in his expectation of what should happen in his reaction, but there's a mismatch. There's a slight mismatch, slight delay, and you end up both hitting each other right in the head. So you collide skulls, and so Kolmar is stunned. Meanwhile, the kobold kind of gets knocked back and falls prone in the grease, sliding back into the wall.
Not my finest moment.
All right, so while the kobold is on the ground, Marthow, do you want to do something?
Yeah, I want to hit it. How far away from it am I?
10 feet.
I want to try to hit it with my shadow blade. So I'll pull out my shadow blade. And I'm going to use my bonus action to move the hex from the kobold that was the wind kobold to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to attack it.
You have disadvantage, or you have advantage because he's prone.
Yeah, so I'm just going in for the shadow stab. It's 22.
It's a hit.
It's 10 necrotic damage plus 5 more necrotic damage, so 15 necrotic damage.
Go ahead and describe how it dies.
As the Marthow pulls out this wooden hilt and he goes in to stab it, and as he brings it down, the rest of the blade appears, and it's a giant, almost looks like a scimitar. It comes out, and he drives it straight through the creature's the back of his neck, and his head separates from his body. And then he pulls it out. The blade seems like it sucks up a little bit of the blood, and then it sinks back into the wooden hilt, and then there's just the wooden hilt in Marthow's hand. Well, we finally got them, fellas.
Good riddance.
Damned rat bastards. Or dragon bastards. I'm not sure which. Charles, are you okay? Charles, where are you? Kolmar, how did you get Charles?
I'm not feeling too good. And Charles goes and throws up into the nearest hole. Obviously quite concussed.
Kolmar, how could you hit Charles like that? What has he ever done to you?
He's lucky I wasn't trying to kill the stupid thing.
Is there any? So now that there are no more enemies left, and while Charles is puking in the hole, I'm going to inspect the winged kobold.
Okay. So his body is pretty badly burned and beaten up from the attacks that he sustained from the group of you. But once again, as I mentioned before, he has this blue-dyed leather armor that he's wearing, as well as this interesting little halberd that he used against Kolmar, and the belt that would glow before teleporting him, swapping with one of you.
Well, I already have a special belt. I don't see the reason to carry two of them. Would either of you care to have this?
I don't
And
rely
I hold
on
up
trickery.
this magic belt.
I don't rely on trickery in battle.
What did you say?
I said I don't rely on trickery in battle. Kolmar, it's for you. You can have it.
Oh, what? What happened? Oh, I see you killed the kobold. That's good.
What do you mean? What happened? You were here the whole time.
Well, there was a collision.
He took a
Nice.
nasty blow to the head.
I would check both yours and Charles' pupils. We're not dark in here.
So
Well, just
Kolmar,
sit down, take it. Go hang out with Charles. Charles could use the help, and you're both suffering together. And I'll be with you momentarily.
so Kolmar is sitting in the grease, but it's his own grease, so he's pretty familiar with it, so he can get up and move around fairly easily.
I like the smell of my own grease. Smells like home.
Kolmar's gonna get up and wander over to that chair and examine the feline skull.
Especially due to your studies of dead bodies and things of that nature, you can kind of tell that it's the skull of a lion.
Okay.
Or at least it seems lion-like. But the bones of the rest of the body seem hollow. And also, as you examine the chair, you notice that beneath the chair is a kind of a soft blanket with several eggs placed in the blanket.
Like eggs to hatch eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I guess nature check to see if I know what these eggs are.
Sure.
Sure, nature. I'm all about the nature. Where's my fucking die, man? Oh well. Oh yeah, 8.
All right. Well, you can't be 100% sure, but it doesn't take a great leap of logic based on what Marthow said earlier, that they're probably the kobolds' eggs.
Well,
I have no further need for eggs.
well, you know, there are 3. We could fry them up.
Barbaric.
We could wait till they hatch. We will be the first thing they see. Therefore, they'll think we are their mother.
Give them
Okay.
to Charles so he can
Another
raise them.
reason we should fry them now.
Let Charles raise them at the Handsome Mansion.
Oh God.
I'm
We
not
could
ready
use
to be a mommy.
Charles,
We could use additional guard kobolds.
yes, Charles, you will train them in the arts of the rapier and whatever else you're familiar with. Cooking, cleaning, fixing decanters.
Marthaw's going to go over to Charles and start giving him a back rub. Because he's very ill.
This is quite good, sir. Thank you so much. I'm not sure I'm deserving of such treatment, but as always, it is a pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine, dear Charles.
We came here for a reason, right? We're supposed to be. Well, wait, we did it, right? We avenged Babadook.
Baba
Babush.
Ganoush.
Yes, quite. We avenged him. What further need do we need to be here?
Is there any further, are there any other doors in this place?
There's one right next to the chair, right?
Yep.
So I will attempt to take the eggs. I don't know if we have anything to keep them in so they don't get destroyed.
Yeah, you could probably arrange for that to happen.
Okay. What about this skull? How big is the feline skull?
Probably as large as your torso.
Oh, so wearing it for a helmet, probably a hat would be kind of out of the question.
Yeah, you can basically just about crawl into the thing if you wanted to.
Oh, well. Okay, just go up to the door and do a quick check to see if it's trapped, if it's similar to the one that we came through.
No, it's not trapped.
Is it locked?
Nope.
Shall I open the door?
I get up and I kind of dust my robes off and say, is that by chance can we heal before any more doors are opened? I'm hurting quite badly. If there were if there was something on the other side, I'm not sure I could take it.
I mean, yeah, well, Baba Ganoush has waited this long. He can wait longer. Elmore?
Do what you will. I tire of this place and its stench.
Let's just open this door and then be rid of this place. I'll like get up to my feet kind of wearily and just kind of like get in a ready stance. I'm very clearly not ready to fight, but I will.
As am I.
Oh my gosh.
Greetings.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
I had the live thing on, so I heard like the last bit of your conversation.
Sounds like
Sorry, I'm
you have
late.
a dog
Very
like-
late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
there's a
probably
possessed
actually
dog.
finishing up pretty soon.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to run over to the uni to get this bloody proofread and stuff. Oh, it's a nightmare. I hate essays.
Are you in a different room?
No, I just moved my room around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I miss Toad.
Yeah, he was hanging. I've got oh, that's Roadhog. There's Roadhog back there. He's from Overwatch.
Mhm.
And then Reinhardt's below him. But yeah, the wall's over there now.
Well, we're glad you're alive.
Yeah, it's been very hectic.
Semester almost over.
No, I still got another 6 weeks.
Jeez.
And I'm already getting like I've had to do 2,500 word essays in 6 weeks. With stacks of subject readings and fucking references which you have to apply to that. It's hell.
That sounds like something I don't miss.
No kidding.
5,000 words is easy compared to what I had to do in college.
Yeah,
Well,
you
when I
kids
was-
got the internet too to
Yeah.
look up. Going to the library.
Back in my day.
Son of a bitch, that bastard's got the book I need.
Yeah, you just need to learn the essay tricks. Like, you make all of your periods. You make your essay 12-point font, but then you make your periods 14-point font, and they can't tell, but it actually lengthens it lengthens your pages if they do it by pages. But if they do it by characters, then you're fucked.
Nah, it's characters, and they've
Oh,
got
yeah.
they've got like very specific like font rules and stuff like that. So if they're wrong, they'll mark you down. Yeah.
They just went by pages though. They didn't look at it that closely. They're like, oh yeah, there's some periods, commas, and quotations.
That's the dream.
Yeah, dude.
Should have gone the English route.
Well, yeah.
All right.
So
what's
have we
behind
gone
this-
through the door?
Oh, God. Yeah. What's behind this door? Yeah.
I'm gonna get Sam to open it.
All right. So the door opens without a problem. Nothing seems to explode. It's nice.
Seems being the key word.
Okay. Look into the room from the other side.
There's what appears to be a great number of stacks of scrolls and books, and interspersed within all of that are jewels and some gold pieces and things like that. So this is likely what Baba was describing as his hoard or his treasure, which he had stated should you complete the task, you would be welcome to take it as your own.
Sweet.
Okay. I send Sam through the door and into the room.
He disintegrates. No, he doesn't.
Spontaneously combusts.
He's fine. Just standing there, kind of
Okay.
swaying. Occasional moan.
Anything
Or-
besides treasure worth noting?
No, it seems to be like I mean, gold pieces and jewels probably don't total to more than maybe 1,000 gold pieces worth. But there's a lot of scrolls and there's a lot of books, and not all of them are written in common.
So 1 month's rent at the Handsome Mansion?
Something like that.
Martha walks into it. It's like, fantastic. This will make for great library material. Yes, I can see it now. Our own library at the Handsome Mansion. Generously donated by our sponsor, Baba Ganoush. I flipped through some of the scrolls. What might be something, one or two that I'm looking at?
So one of the few books that you see that is actually written in common appears to be a raggedy journal of somebody who claims to have been a general during the last war. And he has several articles written about military formation and the incorporation of these new strange machines called Warforged being incorporated into the ranks and how to use them. But then also some theoretical designs of things that he calls siege wands, and some other interesting little tidbits there. And that's one of the few things that is written in common. Other things are written in other languages. Some you may recognize, others that seem to be very archaic. And some of the books seem like that they carry formulations for new spells as well, which with some research you might be able to better understand.
So, I mean, how much stuff is there? I mean,
Well,
is this going to take like multiple trips out of here?
Yeah. I mean, the room is same dimensions as all the other ones, 40-foot diameter-ish. And the ceilings, and it's pretty full.
Okay. All right, Baba, we found your stuff.
So Baba blinks into existence, and he takes a look at the bones and the skull, and he says, "Oh, I see you've uncovered my body. Those blasted kobolds, they disgraced it."
Your body.
Duh. Like I said, I am Sphinx, but when I die, they caught me as human. And so, weird thing about being spirit. I did not see this coming, and so when they kill me, I stay human in spirit, but my body returned to Sphinx. Is weird.
So Kolmar goes over, putting his arm on the this feline head, which I guess is just a big skull, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to need this anymore?
Yet, I fear that I need very little anymore. My treasure, my hoard, the knowledge that I gather for centuries, no longer relevant.
We got it. Okay. So what you're saying is you probably don't need this.
I would prefer that it is used in a respectful manner.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. This would work. This would be a great chair.
It seems
You
right
feel
up there, Kolmar.
You can feel the air get a little electric and the breeze start to pick up in response to his mood. The mention of that, but
Is he feeling electric?
something like that.
Or is he shocked?
So Baba goes over to the winged kobold and spits on him. Stupid kobold. I got the lost laugh.
Okay. So what's next for you, Baba?
There is no manual for being spirit. For now, I think I'm stuck.
Stuck.
Where?
I cannot
Stuck.
move.
Where?
I am confined to either here or in how you say handsome mansion.
No. Hell no.
So what would make your stay, if you were to stay at the Handsome Mansion, more comfortable?
Is good question. New books. As Sphinx, I value knowledge. Knowledge is the currency of Sphinx. More knowledge brings more riddles, and riddles are Sphinx lifeblood. I have no more life, but I still enjoy.
Okay.
All right, Bubba. What do you know about the forest, the magical forest?
You mean the Lannis? Is interesting place. Forest is like story. story of fairy and other creatures that are strange and alien to realm of this plane.
And as you teleported us to your cave, would you be able to teleport us there?
Yet, not so easy. I could teleport you here because it is linked to my existence's spirit. To get to Thalanis would require more power and magical incantations, which may be found in some of scrolls and books here.
Perfect.
Sounds like we have some reading to do.
So have you read all the books and scrolls in the back here?
Da, of course.
Okay.
Sphinx life is reading and
Yeah.
asking riddles.
You already told us that. We got it.
So tell us how to get to Thalanis.
Is this one daft?
No, we know you can't teleport us there. And you've already read them. You're telling us to read them. Tell us what's in the scrolls.
They call you Elmore, no?
Oh God. I will smite you back into oblivion.
You are welcome to try. I think being spirits maybe not so easy to
You wouldn't like
destroy.
it if I took your Sphinx skull and broke it, would you?
No, I would not like that.
Oh, God damn it, man.
Oh.
Yet neither would I, but would not matter in the end. Skull will perish in time, regardless. But have you read book before?
I don't do much.
Do you read,
No.
human?
Does he look like a man who reads?
My thoughts exactly.
He is a man who is born to crush the souls of the weak.
I will destroy you.
Regardless, when over centuries of accumulating knowledge, there's much that can be confused. And so I have some idea of maybe where to find knowledge and what is fuzzy over time one forgets.
We're never going to get to the Tower of the 12.
I bet you they have a lot of books.
Ugh.
I wonder what the limit is to check out.
Oh, Sphinx speak of places like Tower of 12 and Arcane Congress. Places of great power and knowledge. Some sphinxes even have access. They make bargains with humans and such.
So what are you saying, Baba? Have you been to these places?
Yet I have never been myself.
Really?
I have kin that have traveled to these places and have perused the articles and other such knowledge contained within. Obviously I am jealous, but what can I do?
Certainly nothing much in your present state.
Yet, unfortunately not. I am incapable of leaving these handsome mansion or my lair. and can find being spirits is not so good. Get to learn still and read, but can't get out much.
Hmm.
Well, I suppose if needs be, you can stay at the Handsome Mansion for a while, since it is either you pretend like you're not there, or we allow you to be there.
And I will make portal remain open and allow you to continue to travel between lair and Handsome Mansion. Would be useful to have place in unknown underground spot. And then
Especially
he turns
with all those rat carcasses. Keep talking not like this.
And then he turns to the kobolds and he says, "Stupid kobolds. They did not know that these places heed to my life. When they killed me, they trapped themselves here. They've probably been living here like animals for, well, however long it's been since I've died. As spirits, time is funny."
Well, they did seem pretty desperate to leave. They were wondering how we got here, but we never really gave them the chance to find out.
For sure. Good. They deserve their fate. Ugh.
Hmm. I wonder if there was some way we could have Baba travel with us. He would be an exceptional ally, especially as a spirit, be able to move in places that we can't.
I think you just want to hear Mike do the accent.
Of course I do.
Are you saying that out loud as Kolmar?
What?
Or is that just you pondering?
No, that's what Kolmar thinks. If there's a way to bring him along, because he might be able to get, if he's a spirit, then
Is interesting idea. Would require you to find the item that is linked to my existence at the Handsome Mansion.
could find that item, and then when I raise one of my minions, I could put you in it.
Idea is less than savory, but may get me out, allow me to see sun, would be nice.
We have this nice kobold Sam. That's your written all over it, Baba.
I don't think.
Stupid kobolds. I will never stand in their presence if I can avoid it. Although, Kolmar, I like your style. You desecrate their bodies and make them your own. I can get behind that with those stupid kobolds.
It would be quite fitting that Baba would become a kobold.
I will pretend I did not hear that.
Charles, you're offending our now permanent guest. You understand?
I like that. Yes.
I believe
yes.
I believe Petrie will not have a hand in this.
Well, unfortunately, we can't really kick him out, and he doesn't have a place to go. So it is better that he just stays and helps us out around the house while we attend to this angel-faced creature and the rest of the things we must attend to.
You're very right, Marthow. Sorry, sir.
Apology accepted, but I think perhaps I can narrow down the research to these scrolls. And so he picks out a couple of scrolls and says, the information we need is likely in these.
See?
Crossing the barriers between planes is difficult at best. Easier during either when planes are, how you say, coterminous. Also in special places called manifest zones.
Oh yes, we're quite familiar with these things. We had a run-in in a manifest zone or two when another plane close to this one not too long ago.
Interesting. Given the lifespan of a human, must have been not too long ago. I would have liked to see that. Too bad. I was likely dead.
Well, stick around, you'll see some shit.
Well, I thank you all for achieving my vengeance against these stupid kobolds.
Yes, they are quite worthless creatures. I can't think of any single positive thing about the kobolds, except when they die. That's pretty positive.
Marthow, you are a man of words that I like. Oh, that's such a dumb phrase. I'm writing that down.
Sweet talking.
Does this mean no chance of taking those eggs and raising them as our own?
Never know.
I think we could probably do that.
And why wouldn't you be able to do that, Elmore?
Everyone's just talking about how they hate kobolds so much.
The kobolds might be quite useful in plating and food services. Might need some help around the kitchen.
Charles, did you it seems Charles could have a use for these things. I can hardly see a use, but if Charles has an opinion on this matter, then I'd say that it is fine with me.
Yeah, is your home. I cannot say what you do or don't do, but if you decide to raise these kobolds, please keep them away from me. I cannot stomach being in their presence, especially knowing that their kin are the ones that killed me.
I don't think you have a stomach, Bubba.
Ha, 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 Kolmar.
Besides, these kobolds could help us. If we train them right, they could be part of our security at the Handsome Mansion. Have them develop tunnels and traps.
Maybe. Maybe kobolds killed you in your sleep.
They could.
Then maybe you are trapped as spirits like I am in Handsome Mansion. But it is your choice. Anything you guys want to do before we end tonight?
I would guess these eggs. I guess that whole process would take a long time. Or I don't know. Are kobolds' lives 5 minutes long?
Usually not
I
by
don't know.
choice.
Yeah. But it's unlikely that Kolmar would know the incubation rates of kobold eggs.
Yeah, no.
So, what I'll do is I will send everybody an email in regards to the details of the items that they found. And then next week we'll start doing well, I guess Brendan, are you gonna be okay with
I should be good
making it next week?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
So
it's all handed in on Friday, so I'm good to go after this.
all right. So then in that case we can start working on Thelanis, and then I'll give you guys some scripts in terms of your characters. Like I said, you're probably going to still just run your characters mechanically as they are, although they might be flavored or skinned a bit differently. So, you know, who knows, Elmorn, you might be like the Tin Man or something like that, but still effectively Elmorn. But you guys will have some slightly different personalities, so I'll work with you guys to kind of talk through that prior to next week. And then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
How'd you guys feel about tonight's session?
Fuck kobolds.
You're just salty.
That sums up my feelings.
It was good. Glad to kill those kobolds.
I tried to be nice to him, and look what happened. I hurt Charles.
Well, they're tricky. Also, Peter, I know with your other game you got like maybe 3 more sessions. How much longer do you have with this game?
Let's see. Today's date.
What's going on?
1, 2, 3, 4. Probably 4 more. After tonight, probably 4 more.
Okay. And then once you get over there and get yourself settled, is there any possibility of you continuing to play?
Maybe, I don't know. Like September, probably I may be able to jump in a game at some point in September.
Mm-hmm.
October will probably be out. November, probably out. maybe just I don't know. After that, I'm not sure. But September, I actually might be able to make a couple games.
Okay.
I just still have to let you know, obviously.
Are you traveling or?
You could say that. Yes, I am. I am traveling. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in the Army National Guard.
So you're being shipped off.
Yep.
Whereabouts to?
Oh, I'm going to Kuwait.
Kuwait.
Be nice and
Okay.
warm.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right. Well,
Wow, that's pretty far out.
yeah. So, if you can make any games in the future, Kolmar is gonna continue to be part of the party, and you're always going to be welcome whenever you can jump in. And then, if you have the opportunity, we'll definitely be able to do some email kind
Yeah.
of exchanges too.
Yeah. Okay.
So then, this also brings up an interesting question to the group. Do we want to invite a new player to come in as well?
I don't mind.
You could do that.
Cool with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Does anyone have a specific person in mind that would be good? Because I'd rather throw it out to the group before I throw it out to Nerdarchy, which is, good group of guys, but hit or miss sometimes, as we've seen in the past.
I could see if some I have an in-person group that plays Friday, and I could see if any of them would be interested in hopping on.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, most of my D&D gang only play on weekends because they work and stuff like that.
They lead normal lives that they actually go to sleep at night.
That's true.
Well, it'll be afternoon for you.
Yeah, afternoon. Yeah, they'd be still at work.
All right. All right. So I'll wait for you guys to get back at me for anybody that you guys know that might want to join up before I start offering it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We still have 4 weeks, so.
Yeah, we still got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
good.
hopefully the Thelanis stuff shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 sessions. I'm thinking probably 2. And then
we're just gonna kill the Wicked Witch of the West and we're good to go.
something like that. Yeah, probably after that, you guys will be able to get to the train, the lightning rail, and might even be able to get to the Tower of the 12. Dun dun dun.
Nice.
But we still planning on going to that City of the Dead for Kolmar.
That's the plan. So yeah, we'll try and do that then before Peter's got a bolt.
Yeah, because he might find his place there in the City of the Dead, having a field day. His story's complete there.
At least for now.
Yeah.
While he researches ways of animating more powerful types of undead.
Yeah, and he creates a White Walker army and kills everyone.
So that's how it ends. All right, guys. I gotta head to bed. I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
Me too.
same.
Good night.
Good luck, guys.
Good night, everyone.
All right.
See you next week.
Yep. Sucks that you're leaving, man.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah. But you said this is your last one, right? More than likely.
Yeah, I should be retired after this.
Cool. I'm really interested to see how this Monday game ends. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can imagine you started scrolling notes and you're like, fuck it, it's gonna be something totally different anyways.
Yeah. Because I improv, a lot of times I'll improv the monsters and
Mhm.
stuff. Because if it's something I want them to do, I just have them do it.
Yeah.
But with some of these, I really don't want to do that. I definitely want to have some set out stuff that they do. And pre-roll certain things so I'm just not sitting there counting dice all night.
That inspires confidence in me that there's that many dice that need to be rolled.
But just stuff that I can make it go a little bit quicker.
Yeah. I've thought about doing that, but it seems like so much bookkeeping.
Yeah, to a certain degree, but I do also like in the moment rolling,
Mhm.
It's like, oh, what's going to happen? Like having predetermined roles. Is good in the sense that, like I said, people aren't sitting there watching like me count.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, but it's also kind of takes away some of the mystery of what may happen. So I try to balance it out. So
Mhm.
I've made many rolls, and I will just roll one dice, and then that will tell me the number.
One way that might be helpful when you got large dice pools that you're going to be rolling is using the online dice rollers.
Yeah, and I actually have a dice rolling app on my iPad, which if I really had
Nice.
to. Yeah, well, I got it for Fantasy Flight games
Mhm.
because you couldn't get the dice anywhere. So that's how I ran a couple sessions of that with the app. But yeah, that's a game I would like to play. I just never got a chance.
Fantasy Flight games. The name is familiar, but I don't know what it is.
It's Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, and
Okay.
Force and Destiny, and
Oh yeah, they have their own version of like story dice. They call them, right?
yeah, you create a dice pool, and you can like succeed, but there are threats, or you can technically fail, but you gain. I want to say advantage. It's probably not advantage. It's probably I can't think of what it is exactly. But basically, you know what I mean. Like you can be successful, but
Yeah, there's degrees of success and failure.
right, which make it really interesting. I really would like to, and another thing is I really would like to try a game or start getting away from hit points. I just find that um, it's kind of funny now that I look at my thing and see vitality points. I did try to run vitality points in one of the
Mhm.
campaigns. I remember when we were doing that, and it sounded familiar, but I did try it, and it was very confusing for everyone.
Yeah.
But I do like that mechanic. It's just hit points just become, you amass so many, and I realize that's the whole intent. Is like you become more powerful. But
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like it makes it difficult to balance the encounters then because you gotta figure out how much damage the bad guys need to do to make it a credible threat.
yeah,
And especially if you're rolling a lot of dice can be swingy. So even if it is a pretty bad thing, like if you're casting disintegrate, you can still technically roll pretty shitty with the disintegrate, even though it's a badass spell.
yeah. But I think that's gonna be the next thing. Is I'm just gonna try to either run the 7D system that Gareth has online that I've played in, because his is, there's no hit dice in that. There's no hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, there's no levels either. Or some other system, some other hybrid to see how it runs. Because I like the lethality of it too. It's like, yeah, you can be a badass and be able to do all this stuff, but a bullet or a sword still should be as deadly as it was when you were just a lowly whatever.
Right. So, as you're talking about that, one of the things I'm wondering, which might be a neat way of doing it, is rather than having hit points, you have hits. So the number of successful hits that you can take. And then once you hit your limit of hits, then you start getting into like the vitality point situation, like kind of like what we got going for McCormick's Folly.
Yeah. Basically everybody starts off with like 7 hits, and you start it at when it never changes. Obviously, as a player, you change because your defense or whatever gets better, and you're able to, avoid those things or know better,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still just as deadly as they were.
Yeah,
So,
that's an interesting idea.
and then I was watching some gameplay today from another setting. Oh shit, no, that's not what I want. And I want to get the name of the game right because I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it's called Hollow Earth Expedition. I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't play many games, so. But
It sounds like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
yeah, kind of. It's like It's based in like 1930s. It's kind of like pulp.
Yeah.
Type of stuff, but and it's done with Ubiquity,